Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it in person to Madrid. Lufthansa was unable to get me there before today at 10 p.m. However, my name is Klaus Vondrovec. I am the director of the Imperial Coin Cabinet in Vienna. This is a view of our exhibition. And the Coin Cabinet in Vienna holds roughly 600,000 objects. But the Coin Cabinet is not the only numismatic institution in Vienna. There are three major institutions, which is, aside from the museum where I work, the University of Vienna, the Institute for Numismatics and Monetary History, the only of its kind in the world, and the Numismatic Research Group of the Austrian Academy of Sciences. Plus, there is a monetary museum of the Austrian National Bank, and of course, as it should be, a lot of dealers and collectors in Vienna. Altogether, they make Vienna a center point of numismatic research. But there is a speciality in Vienna. It's a special center point for numismatic research on the ancient Orient. By definition, this is roughly the area of what we call an ancient or pre-Islamic Orient, and it ranges from the 6th century BC to the 8th century AD. All this research on ancient Orient goes back to one person, who was Robert Goebel. Here you see a picture of him. In 1965, he founded actually the Institute for Numismatic and Monetary History, which did not exist before him. And a few years later, he also founded the Research Group for Numismatic at the Austrian Academy of Sciences. Aside, he also made a few but major publications on numismatic of the ancient Orient, such as the Huns, the Sasanians, or the Kushan Empire. Now, as we speak, there are at least 5 scholars in Vienna who actively publish on ancient Oriental coinage, which is Michael Alram, Wolfgang Seifert, Nikolaus Schindel, Fabrizio Senisi, and myself. Most important of them is probably Michael Alram. He was not only my teacher and supervisor and predecessor here at the museum, but he also succeeded in founding what is now known as Syloge Numorum Sassanidarum. The Syloge Numorum Sassanidarum is a multi-volume book on the Sasanian coinage, but for the first time, various museums would put the coinages, the holdings together so that it can be researched as if it was one collection. A few years later, he introduced the same for the Parthian coinage, so that we now have the Syloge Numorum Sassanidarum and Particorum. While for the Sasanian volumes, there were only 3 museums together, this number has doubled now for the Syloge Numorum Particorum. Of course, Vienna is not only the place where this has been invented, but we also contribute our collections, which unfortunately, I might add, are among the smallest under the big museums, so that for the Sasanian volumes, we could initially only contribute our 1,235 coins. Sasanians, in case you did not hear of them at all, Sasanians have been a major superpower in Central Asia from the 3rd till 7th century AD. They were the favorite enemies of the Roman Empire. They were battling them through the centuries. Here you see the famous rock relief of Naqshi Rustam, where the Sasanian king of kings, Shapur, horse ridden, and plus a coin of him, takes captive 2 Roman emperors, Philippus and Valerianus. Well, as important as the Senian Empire might be, our holdings, as I said, are rather meager. Until one day in 2019, Fritz Rudolf Künker from Künker Münzhandel in Germany gave a phone call to my predecessor, Michael Alram, and he told him that Künker, they had received a major collection of ancient Oriental coins for sale initially, but it's from an Austrian guy, and it would be a good idea to have this collection over in Vienna one day. Here's a few glimpses. Now this is what we got as images. In this case, those are Kushan gold coins. In total, this collection hold roughly 1,700 coins of six dynasties of the ancient Orient: Kushan, Gupta Sassanians, the Iranian Hans, Arab Sassanians, and also Tabaristan. Among them, especially the Kushans, a lot of gold coins. The only downturn was it would cost us 254,020 euros. Well, we could easily afford 4,020 euros, but we were still €250,000 short, because no publicly funded museum I know of can afford a sum like this just to buy a coin collection, as important as it might have been. So there was only one way for us to start a big third-party funding campaign. But face it, why would you give money to a museum in the first place? What are museums like? I mean, look at the imperial coin collection. Here we are. On display, we have roughly 2,500 coins, metal, and you name it, paper bills, everything that is that's got something to do with money. Whereas our total holdings, as I told you, are roughly 600,000 objects. So pretty much this is only the tip of an iceberg. And that's exactly what big museums are. And big museums, especially the Viennese coin collection, is just an iceberg. So the actual part that counts is beneath the surface. You can't see those 600,000 objects, only a few fractions also on a homepage. And the same thing goes for what we do, for what museums do. The many things we do, you can't see them because they're underneath the surface. First of all, it's collecting. Museums collect stuff, not only coins, but you name. A museum must collect or has been collecting things. Second, we have to care about the conservatorial conditions. Also, this is a lot of work, takes a lot of money, but no one can see it, just to keep our objects intact for the next centuries to come. Third, our research. When we do research, when I do research, you can't see me, you can't see anything. The only thing you can see in a museum is when it comes above the surface, such as exhibitions or such giving lectures as I'm doing it right now, even if I'm here in Vienna and you're in beautiful Madrid. So, but what do museums do if they get new stuff, if they get a new collection? Well, first of all, we can guarantee for the security of items. Second, we can guarantee for the conservational well-being of objects. We can guarantee that they are still here in 200 or 300 years or so, I hope. Thirdly, we make objects publicly accessible, not only through our exhibitions, but also through our homepage, which is much easier nowadays than it used to be some decades ago. And last but not least, we do a lot of research that can result in publications, in lectures, or in exhibition, or ideally in all three of them. But of course, there are legal requirements for collecting at all, which is the UNESCO Convention from 1917, and of course, we stick to that. So that for the Lindpaintner collection that has been offered to us, first we had to check how he collected it, who was the collector. So this is the only image I have of the collector, Dr. Eric Lindpaintner, who interestingly died some decades ago. He died in 1989. But as it turns out, he's been collecting mostly in the 1950s and 1960s, which makes his collection pretty much legal. On one occasion, for example, he got by car from Austria over to Afghanistan. Here you see the famous Buddha statue of Bamyan. So that means that he got from Austria over to the Balkans, to Turkey, through Iraq, Iran, to Afghanistan and back again. And it was a wise thing to do so, because as you all know, this Buddha statue of Bamyan does not exist anymore. This is what it looks like today. Yeah, all that's left is just a big hole. But it also turned out, and I did not know that, Lindpaintner knew Goebel, Professor Goebel, pretty much. So from time to time, I reckon it just gave him a phone call. And from time to time, Lindpaintner would travel to Vienna and show his new coins to Goebel. And that made a big advantage for Goebel, because he could include Lindpaintner's coins decades ago in the 1960s and 70s for his own research. So here's an example of Goebel's book on the Kushan coinage. And as you can see, these are the plates and this is the coin. So he used all coins Lindpaintner collected for his research. So you see, this is not only a similar coin, this is this very specimen that was pictured in Goebel's book, and that is now, that was in the Lindpaintner collection, which is now at the Kunsthistorisches Museum. So still, well, we're still back in 2019, and we needed to raise €250,000, and we set ourselves the goals that this fundraising campaign should give us at least €100,000. So what we did was start a multi-phased campaign with asking private sponsors for the help, asking coin dealers in Vienna for the help, and of course also the friends of the Kunsthistorisches Museum. And what happened then? There's been a lot of coincidences, there has been a lot of luck. The fundraising campaign turned out to be the by then most successful of the Kunsthistorisches Museum and brought us €45,000. And what also struck me was the feedback that I got from the museum itself, because someone said, hey, I didn't know that so many people were interested in coins. Well, I told you so would just not quite say it. If you'd asked me, I could have told you that many people, not only in Vienna, but also around the world, especially in Madrid now, are interested in coins, and interestingly, they also give some money. Plus, the fundraising campaign also won the fundraising award, the Austrian Fundraising Award of 2021. But as I said, this was only one part. The other important part, or the next important part, have been some major donors from coin trade. So this is the Austrian Mint, this was Schöller Münzhandel here in Vienna, and also Künker itself, the German coin company, you know. But still, we were some money short, so I gave a phone call to a contact in New York, to Ute Wartenberg. Actually, I asked her, to translate our campaign and letters into English, but she told me, yeah, I know this guy on the West Coast. On the West Coast, I'll just give him a phone call. He should give you $50,000. And I said to myself, yeah, sure. Why would he give us $50,000? I mean, he doesn't know me at all. But as it turns out, Ute really called Rick Bellison in San Francisco. And what he did, he called not me, but he called another fellow in Vienna. He called Bernhard Wojtek, inquiring about this, who is this Klaus Vondrovec guy, and what is what is this collection, and what are you up to? What do you want from me? And via Bernhard Wojtek, I communicated with Rick Bellison, and he asked me, okay, how much money do you have? How much still do you need? And I told him, and then he asked me, okay, what coins are in the collection? What coins would you like to acquire? So I told him, and I sent him the images and so on. And as it turns out then, as I learned, Rick has been to Vienna a few years ago. This is him in the Café Centennial, for example. So at the end of the day, and to my big surprise, he said, I will not give you $50,000, but I will give you $100,000. And Rick made that the gift of Richard Bellison in honor of Bernhard Wojtek and Ute Wartenberg to Vienna. So another $100,000. That was, I did not expect that at all. And literally 2 days later, I received another phone call from the friends of the Kunsthistorisches Museum, and they told me, okay, how much money have you got? How much are you short? We will pay you all the rest. So that I did not expect that. We have been able to acquire the entire collection worth €250,000. And only a few months later, amidst in the corona pandemic, the collection was delivered to Vienna also by a colleague, by Dr. Martin Ziegert, who has studied in Vienna at the university, at the institute, and who now works for Künke. So here we are. We've been successful through many, many helping hands. The collection came to Vienna. And that is what it looks like in the trays. To my great relief, the overall feedback on our actions has been very positive. Here's an article of the Münzenwoche, as you all know, because there is this kind of discussions, are museums supposed to collect at all? Well, if you ask me, yes, it's not the only purpose, but it is what museums must do, to what extent ever. And what also struck me after our success was the feedback I got from the small donors in Vienna. For example, a lady asked me, so do we now have the biggest collection of Oriental coins? Well, no, exactly, we do not have the biggest collection now, but we have a very, very fine collection. We can make exhibitions now where we can put them online and whatever. But what struck me the most, that she said we, and she did not mean us, the director of the Imperial Coin Cabinet, but she just meant us, Vienna, Austria, whatever. That was very nice. And another question I got was, okay, which coin was bought from my money? And I asked the guy, okay, how much money did you give? And he said €25. So still, also €25 helped a lot. And for €25, we could indeed acquire 2.5 coins from Tabaristan. So, good brave man, you helped us to acquire 2.5 coins. Cheapest one, but still it helped. But back to the collection, what makes it a centennial occasion for us, I will show you. This is what was in the Lindpaintner collection, and this is what we had, what the Imperial collection had in 2019. As you see, 6 Kushan gold coins are not exactly what I would call imperial, but when we got this Lindpaintner collection in addition, that made an enormous progress. So even our Sasanians doubled. I mean, 17 times Kushan gold coins, plus 550% on Gupta gold coins. So what was really centennial about this collection, that it gave us exactly this strength where we needed it. So at the weakest spots, this collection filled them up. I think that's an opportunity rarely enjoyed, rarely seen by a museum or by a curator, and I'm very grateful. I'm really very happy that it happened to me, that it happened to Vienna while I was around. But the next step, of course, we put the collection online. It's almost completely online with all the details. Here we are, and we're also planning a special paper publication as a supplementum of the SNS volumes. And last but not least, everything we got will go in those volumes that need still to be written and printed of the SNS. So that our contribution to this project has more or less doubled. So it's also I think everybody can profit now from this collection acquired by Vienna. And the last point of my presentation will be about another echo. A few months later, I received another phone call, and there was a guy named Dr. Pleuel, and he would donate us 2 coins. They were from his father's collection, also ancient Oriental gold coins, one from Wiener Kadphises and the other one from Wahram I, from a Kushano-Sasanian ruler. And he would simply donate those coins for us because he had seen this campaign, and he said, yeah, obviously there is someone in Vienna around, they're doing a lot of reasonable stuff with them. And after that, he made us another proposition, which is to sell us his collection of 22 coins of Regalianus and Rientilla. Well, I guess only a few of you have heard from Regalianus and Rientilla. He was an usurper, a Roman usurper in the year 260 AD. In 260 AD, there's pretty much been chaos in the Roman Empire, and all over the empire people would say, now okay, I'm the next emperor. And one of them was Regalianus. He commanded 4 legions on the Danube. Carnuntum is like 40 kilometers east from Vienna, by the way. But why was there chaos in the Roman Empire at all? Well, because of our friends in Sasanian Empire. Because Shapur I, as you see here, had taken the Emperor Valerianus prisoner in 260 AD. And this was exactly the reason why Regalianus set himself loose from the Roman Empire. And he was one of the very few usurpers who struck coins of his own. What is most interestingly, there has been no mint in Carnuntum. So they took ready-made coins and overstruck them. They had someone make the coin dimes, and of course they're very, very rare. There are only about 160 specimens known. It's like the blue Mauritius for stamp collectors. So we have the opportunity now to acquire another 22 Regalianus and Rientilla coins. The price is 260,000 euros, which again is a lot of money, but it's the same price the collector has paid for those coins back in the 1970s and 1980s and 1990s. So as I speak, we're in the midst of the next fundraising campaigns for this Rientilla coinage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Again, my apologies for not being able to join you in person. Thank you very much and have another great session.